Yo, welcome back. This is the afternoon shift of Link to the Past Randomizer Ladder Open Plus Invitational. We are on the final week of groups. We are, in fact, actually on the final 3 sets of games. For this particular week, the best top 2 players out of this group between Tato, Humbugh, Eri, and Relkin are going to move on to the finals and be able to get that really sweet coveted prize. Just in terms of logistics, so unfortunately because of some, like prior commitments that, Tato had, he kind of, decided to organize, his races against Eri, Humbugh, and Relkin kind of like back to back in his, his marathon run in addition to his like main tournament, races. And, it's kind of, Eri, Humbugh, and Relkin, I think, thank Tato for his sacrifice throughout, because everyone now is 1-0 versus Tato. So the remaining 3 races played amongst Eri, Humbugh, and Relkin are actually going to be extremely important for all of these racers because, even though it is maybe slightly less pressure because 3 racers kind of get to the top 2, it is these top 2 spots are going to be incredibly competitive. And so, of course, Eri versus Humbugh, for those of you who may not have seen the last time that they raced, in ladder for this tournament, it was something like a 14-second difference in Humbugh's favor, might I add. So Eri is certainly looking to get a little bit of a revenge and hoping, that the result is going to be in his favor this time. Humbugh, I believe, is ready to continue his streak. So I believe that is the that's the summary. I'm Claire Mouse. I'm joined by one of the most prolific commentators on the Nordic community, Nielsen Alex. Alex, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up, Claire Mouse? That was a very good introduction to the whole open invitational battle against Eri and Humbugh. So with all that info, I am ready to see these two fight until somebody, I guess, wins.
We're actually fighting. We don't have any swords. So we're actually going to go with like fisticuffs at this point?
It's going to be a fist fight between
Okay. We don't even have gloves or mitts even for that matter. We can't throw anything down. We're just going to have to, maybe we can be more, pacifist, right? Do a couple handshakes. How's that?
Okay, that sounds good enough. Good enough.
I was also actually, thinking about this earlier, was that this is actually, like quite the, international scene, right? So like Relkin here is in the States, of course he's not quite in rando time zone, but, he's definitely close enough. Eri is, part of the, the German/Dutch community. Humbugh is part of, I guess he's Swedish, right? Part of the Nordic community. And I mean, it basically is kind of like an international fight, right? Between, who's going to be crowned the pseudo boots winner, basically, of this tournament.
It's quite wild, and I feel bad for Relkin to have to schedule against these runners. So.
Well, actually, so I remember Relkin played Tato. Apparently on, so Tato was doing his like marathon runs, right? So Relkin definitely had a time zone advantage. They played at 7:30 Eastern time, PM. And, that means Tato was playing at like 1:30 PM his time. So I think the other ones, at least for Relkin's going to be sometime, in like the weekend. So maybe won't be as bad.
Yeah. And actually, we're actually already off, which is quite insane. So let's see who's getting that first advantage, which is like silly because these two are like pretty even between each other. So nobody's gonna actually be in the lead until somebody wins between these two.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, and again, right, 14-second difference or something like that, from their last race. So it is definitely going to be, quite the photo finish. But actually, looks like though, Humbugh is actually making an early lumberjack check. So this can or cannot happen. So just 3 bombs though. Maybe depending on, I would say, like runner's preference. I think that you know what? There's an ice rod just sitting in. The loss was dropped down. That's okay. What do you think? Turtle Rock is a pendant?
Yeah, it's always dependent on the fight in like 2 minutes, so that is definitely a pendant. I mean, in this case, it will probably not be a pendant, but it
could be.
Biggest, that is probably the biggest meme that.
Well, yeah, and so it actually looks like both, Eri and Humbug have already done a very early map check, and so we only actually do have one pendant here in the light world, so there's a little bit of hopium, held out for Turtle Rock being a pendant. Of course, in this case, we do have the ice rods, so whatever, because that's definitely not going to be the gating factor here in order to try and at least finish up that dungeon. Eri already kind of flexing his RNG skills. You know what? Humbug is keeping right up with Eri because they both got both bomb drops from the 50-50 bushes.
Yeah, Humbug actually got it on the first try. Eri had to do it one more time, so he's small advantage. But okay, actually we have one more bomb than Eri, which is important for Kakariko.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you ended up catching. I think it was Humbug versus Tato. So Humbug, I think, is kind of traded off his, gotten some of his, better luck back this time around because he got a shovel and he was trying to dig up 2 rupees to try and pay off the bottle vendor, and he got nothing. Like he got everything else except rupees. And out of 25 or 30 digs on his way to the bottle vendor. So I think he's pretty happy this time that he doesn't have to keep farming for bombs.
Let me say it like this: if you ever have to dig for rupees, it always turns out to be like you never get the rupees again. It's always like that.
Yeah, he was trying to channel his inner gem and Lucky Shovel. Imagine you mentioned that in the interview. It's just that it's a bit more difficult to be able to emulate that particular aspect.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So kind of very similar approaches to Kakariko. Nothing really so far. Although
there's that bubble. So.
Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah. That's right. Let's go straight back. I guess I don't know. Both runners are going to be somewhat annoyed, at the fact that because both of them they came from the south, right? And so typically speaking, if you come from Kakariko from the north, you would be like, oh, okay, let me go check the dig spot. And well, here it's a little bit more awkward, right?
And also they got that bottle now in the back here, so now they have to run back to Sick Kid because you will probably not end up not checking Sick Kid when you're here. So
yeah, that is definitely true. Yeah, and looks like actually Eri, that one extra bomb might actually maybe be a little bit more advantageous for Humbug. Let's see how he spends it. I was gonna say that I guess Eri maybe did drop down in the well. Looks like.
Yeah, I picked up some bombs here as well in Blind Hut, so they could have just gambled on bombs being in Blind Hut, which it's always a thing I've noticed.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, we have a flute also in the well. I guess we must have seen that on Humbug's side earlier because his tracker. By the way, gum and paper clips. Thank you so much. This is the hard working it's gum and paper clips I've ever seen in my life because they are able to keep track of literally everything. That both Humbug and Eri are picking up.
You should never rule out a gum and a paperclip because that is the most powerful weapon in all of Hyrule, at least in Hyrule.
Yeah. I mean, basically, MacGyver, was able to do a million things with just gums and paper clips, right? I mean, so it kind of putting in the hands of Lazy Kid and Dunka, I'm sure they're going to do even more.
Pretty sure it's that paperclip from what is it called now again? PowerPoint.
Oh,
or whatever.
Clippy?
Yeah, Clippy. That's the name.
Right, about that paper.
I'm pretty sure it's that one.
Yes. Okay, so all right, so both Eri and Humbug went to Sick Kid. I just got a little bit of lunch money, I guess. But so neither of them are actually going to go back and check the dig spot. But looks like we do have a little bit more of divergence. The mountain now is logically accessible, but the flute, what Humbug of course is doing, is not. Eri looks like he's going to make a quick detour over to Saha.
I'm actually surprised that Eri is not dipping Eastern because he did that in 2 of the qualifiers for the main tournament super early, and it paid off every single time.
Well then, I mean, where's the PRNG here? I do believe that there might be a
little never mind.
For Eastern Palace, but you know what? You just trust Eri's decision making because he has definitely gone to where the item is. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you should never doubt in Eri's routing decisions.
That's true.
So. That guy is a monster when it comes to routing and just playing this game in general, so never rule out Eri's decisions.
Yeah, and the fact that he does have a hook shot now, I'm not exactly sure if he's gonna gain a little bit of time over Humbug, but certainly when he comes up the mountain, that's an Ethan Battalion up top. Can't get it yet, but yeah, when he goes up the mountain though, he's going to be able to just hook right over and go to like Paradox.
Yeah, which is quite nice to be able to just do that.
Alright, grabbing a little bit of extra magic. You know, they did get that early Ice Rod, and is unfortunately no real magic source, it looks like. Like, you know, it actually would be kind of convenient to be able to use a couple of Ice Rod shots, but hey, oh my gosh. Alright, yeah, forget pseudo boots, man. You know, we're just like, let's just go to Mini Moldrum and let's just go find the real boots instead. So, you know, none of this, you know, like, we still get all the movement, but now all of the boots checks are logically available to us.
By the way, for like, am I blind or anything? But did Eri skip the NPC in
I believe it was a heart container. So I think he talked to him first.
Ah, okay, never mind.
Let's just double check on Humbug's side because sometimes when these things happen, I just kind of like, you know, gloss over and forget about it, especially when I didn't think it was important.
Yeah, I saw Boots and I was just like, oh, did he actually talk to him or not?
Yeah, okay, because I think that's where Ares got his fifth heart container. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then there was like nothing really of value basically in Mini Moldrum outside of those like actual boots.
Okay, so I'm not going insane yet, so that's
yet, right? The keyword is yet. It maybe depends on how much or how little Rando you still either watch or play. There might be a correlation for that.
It hasn't been much lately. Let's just say it like that.
Okay, well then, yes, like clearly you just need more Rando in your life. That is the solution. Oh, Humbug! It looks like, oh, he's actually gonna go back and check this shovel spot, so this is actually gonna be pretty interesting. Because it was pretty early, and he still, you know, might have it on his mind. Maybe just gonna be better for him mentally. He just doesn't have something like looming over his head.
It's just better to get the shovel spot out of the way. He already got like flute. It's just like annoying to route it in later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like so Eri actually, oh man, you know, with this hook shot, oh man, so actually this is actually a pretty, you know, actually nice time save or optimization because, you know, without the hook shot and no sword, right? So Humbug kind of had to, you know, kind of like dash his way through, but you know, Eri with a hook shot, he can actually do hook speed. Something much safer, even, you know, kind of going up the mountain. And Eri, I think, really wanted those 20 rupees. Oh man,
it's not often you see anybody hover that gap just for 20 rupees.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I was having to say this too, right? So they barely scrounged up enough money to pay off Bottle Vendor, right? And you know, like, they're looking, you know, potentially for, you know, for maybe Zora money, for pod money. We're just gonna, you know, we're so excited about those boosts, we're just gonna hop right into the pit.
That was pretty big jump there, to be honest, on that bridge.
Yeah, well, this is the power of the real boost. Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, forget. You know, we don't have any more money troubles. We have 300 rupees here in Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, never mind. We will not have any money issues for now.
Yeah. We are kind of still short, like, Zora cash, though. I mean, you know, and right now, I'm not sure if there's, like, a really great way to go farm money outside of maybe, like, Houlihan. I mean, you know, there is 90 rupees in the back of Eastern. If Humbug decides to go over there, but it might be a bit more of an ask. Just because, you know, one, Eastern is a pendant. Doesn't, of course, preclude anything being there, but, you know, still...
Well, there's another $100 in, well, 120 bucks.
Oh, but
well, yes. Okay, never mind. There's Myth
as well. Oh my gosh, so. Yeah, okay, yeah, so forget that. So we're suddenly a Moon Pearl away from Dark World. Just thanks to that Paradox game. Because why would you ever think that they're just, you know, too close? Okay, so this is actually going to be a real fist fight now. Eri is at already 2 glove advantage over Humbug. I hope Humbug has good helmet protection.
What's the first glove, by the way?
The first glove was in Paradox Cave. It was like the 5th chest on the right, and then Eri opened the 4th chest from the right, and then those were myths.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's you don't see that often.
No.
In the same location.
Yeah, I was almost half expecting it's like, you know what, maybe if Eri went from like right to left, we'd see like, you know, glove, and then like would you be like, okay, is Pearl here too? Right? And then like, okay, let's just go to Dark World.
Eri, please don't die here.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
this would be interesting. Like, I don't think he would do it or not, Humbug, but it would be fun if he decided to do Super Bunny Cave without the Moon Pearl.
Oh, right, yeah. That's the whole point of like actual, that is the reason why it's called Super Buddy. It's because we can actually, super egg, down into down into the cave. I would actually be very interested to see if Humbug decides to actually do that. That would actually be, potentially, especially if something is there, right?
Oh, look, there's even more money now, so we're stacked for good.
Yeah, talk about
That's plenty of rupees for the rest of the seed.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, both Kingstoon and Bongcrocs had 300. That is that's we're definitely not gonna have to worry too much. Eri, remembering that he does have real boots now, doesn't have to worry about bonking open the back of Escape.
And well, that was pretty much a bust.
Yeah. So I guess like the good news, outside of course of that bug net, is that there are 3 items there in the back. So potentially this could be some time savings if because we're still missing a small key, we're still missing a map. Maybe they can the lucky layout, right, would be 2 items in the front of Escape, right, and then like the map and dark and the small key would be in like Dark Cross and like Zelda's cell.
But we all know that will not happen.
I have hope.
That's it. That's just the way this game works. It's just not gonna be there.
Yeah. Yeah. Hope and optimism does not equal reality. Sometimes I believe we have seen that proven or disproven time and time again.
That was a very nice prequel as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No rupee shortage for a long time.
Yeah,
unless you start buying bombs and potions and
I was gonna I was gonna say, like, can we maybe make this retroactively make this retro, so we can have like a rupee bow, because they apparently have like tons of money in order to just throw at the game.
Yeah, I would be okay with that.
Yeah. It's like the Eri trying to get some hook speed off of those stairs. Did find a 5 rupee sitting there on Desert Ledge, so he's not gonna care. I mean, we can't get in right now. Just no mirror, no book. Means that this is just going to be a very fast Agina check. We're still missing that pearl. We're still missing a sword. We're going to need at least 2 of them to kind of complete the game. But given the fact that we already do have we just start with pseudo boots, we got real boots, pretty quickly. Let's be nice and give these guys a sword, right? They don't have to worry about running into crowds and like dying.
I mean, it would be fun just to see them die a few times, because otherwise they will just blast through. They would just blast through this seed otherwise, so they need some issues, both of them.
That is actually a good point. I believe actually Eri's file name this morning was "Please No Sub Hour," and so he would like maximize some of his gameplay. So here
wasn't it like Tito that had a sub hour together with Eri?
Yes. In fact, that it was Eri versus Tato this morning, and Eri especially was hoping for not the repeat result, because the last time they played Tato got a 51-39, certainly a record for Open Plus, and Eri of course got like a 57 or 58. I mean, it was like. But imagine, you have a sub-hour seed, right? You think you played well, and then you're like climbing GT, and then you just see like the dot from your opponent. That is a Moon Pearl.
Lock behind Flippers. So that's quite interesting. So Flippers is either here in Escape or in Eastern Palace. Unless we have skipped, like maybe there's a, I don't know, mirror somewhere, and you have to do all that stuff and pile everything up until you find Flippers to put your Moon Pearl into Logic.
Actually, I think there's actually been some, chatters here, hypothetically speaking, as the Flippers could right be here, and you just gotta, turn right back around and go get your Moon Pearl out of Waterfall Fair. It just looks like 50 rupees, though. So I think you're back on the right track, Alex. Escape.
Oh, there's the map.
Yeah, it's not going to be friendly layout, as we have confirmed, but it is going to be, somewhere that our runners have not been to, either the front of Escape, or in this case, it's going to be like Eastern Palace.
I mean, it just feels like it's going to be Eastern Palace. Like it just feels like
I
number of
agree.
qualifiers.
I agree with you. I believe there is value in Eastern Palace. Certainly seems to be the case. Another quick map check. Oh, interesting. All right, so I did catch that there was a pendant in Pod. I don't know how comfortable Humbug is with mimic clipping, but
Oh, he's been practicing pretty much.
oh, well then.
So
I mean, Alex, we might be treated with a bola seed. Given the crystal pendant layouts.
that would be interesting between these two. I know Air is really good at mimic clipping, so.
Yeah, and I will say that so Eri, the reason or the major motivation, how Eri learned mimic clipping is he actually lost a mimic clip seed to Hayfield Bay during SGL last year. And,
oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, and so after that, Eri, you can actually see at the very end, he was even like pulling up the mimic clip tutorial, like while he was playing to try and figure it out. And then afterwards he learned it, and he's like, I don't know why I didn't learn it earlier because it isn't really like that bad. And so so now Eri, is as you said, is a master mimic clipper.
Where's the mirror?
Yeah. Humbug though is chasing after he got the pearl from Waterfall Fairy, he came back up the mountain, handsomely rewarded with that mirror.
I also think that our good friend Humbug here had to think for a second. Do I go to Hera? But then he realized, oh yeah, I don't have any weapons, so I can't kill Molor.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's also good. Of course, unless there is a weapon inside Hera, right?
Yeah, that happened before, so.
yeah. I mean, it's also kind of a feels like, oh, you know what? Yeah, that mushroom.
Yeah, you're not gonna save scum that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, already silvers, right? And of course, as part of Open Plus, bows are not progressive, which is why we can end up picking up the silver arrows, without actually having picked up or found like the one and only bow. But again, we may not actually see that bow, anytime soon, just because it is Pod and Eastern both pendants.
And that bow could just very well chill inside Ganon's tower if you.
Oh yeah, heck yeah. Because right, the only thing that in this case, like assuming there's like of course nothing on like Armos or Helmasaur, the only thing that the bow is kind of hard locking are those mimics, and those are upstairs, right? So you got like the entire basement open to you.
So the only thing that Humbug haven't got so far, that we don't know if it's required. Well, it is actually required. Bumbos. So he needs to go to. Nah, Bumbos is not required. Never mind. It's Green Pendant Myers, so we might not need the Green Pendant at all. So he might not. He might be able to skip escape.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That's true. That's true. Although I think Meyer was Ether, I want to say.
It looks like Bumbos to me on the tracker, but I could be reading wrong. So.
Okay. I guess if Eri goes over there eventually, I think we get a confirmation.
I should probably put my contacts in.
No, it's just a minor thing. Don't worry. A bunch of sprites are moving. We do actually. It looks like the Humbug has decided to kind of go into desert. So with that mirror, that is his access into at least the back desert. We don't have a fire source yet, but he was very rewarded with that sword on the torch. Certainly, hard required by those boots. But I mean, you are never gonna turn down a sword, especially when you were from swordless to a sword.
Especially this early on as well in the seed. Sword is just very convenient to have, especially if you have to go to like a dungeon and clear a dungeon that we could actually clear.
Like, and of course there are actual dungeons that will actually require a sword, right? Like for example, I see red crystal skull woods, on our trackers. And the vines and the curtains are really strong in Hyrule. It's almost as if you need some sort of like magical superpower in order to actually like cut them. And a plastic fighter sword is apparently the superpower that you need. All right, so we did confirm it was Ether also on Turtle Rock. At least it was pretty evident on Eri's side. So that looks like it is going to be a A requisite medallion. No fire rod yet. We do know it's going to need it eventually. But it could also be that Bombos is going to be our ticket into Ice Palace, and then that's going to be our fire rod or something like that.
We do go by the rule of fire rod, so.
I mean, oh, there's a book in Skullwoods. Interesting. So I believe that the people who have gone with the rule or guideline of fire, like for example Zelga, I know that some of his opinions are still a bit questionable, but I do believe that the rule of fire is pretty sound in this particular case.
So, Eri picking up that ether medallion after getting the mirror. Oh my god.
Gosh. Never mind. Hello, Dunka. I believe that this is a kind reminder to everyone that this is ladder open plus invitational. We are in the final four. For those of you who may have caught the match this morning, it was a flute on Crystal Mothula with the ice rod in the front as our two items that were required. And and for this particular one, we got a book in the front of Skullwoods, and we found the fire rod.
Right now, I'm not okay. So Eri's going to just dip into Eastern Palace, which is this could be risky. I mean, he knows that Flippers is in. Well, never mind. It's not risky, but never mind, because we will actually have to go in here. Swamp is a crystal, so never mind. I'm done.
Well, no. Well, so like it still could be interesting in that it could be like Flippers. I mean, maybe from Aries' perspective, like Flippers like go mode, right? Because we already sequence broke out. Waterfall Fairy Network and our Moon Pro, right? So we know the Flippers were kind of required already. But maybe in this case, if you really just find everything else, right, and you don't, and the only thing you need Flippers for are our Argus, right? It could be, it certainly doesn't have to come here now. Kind of the other, I think, maybe option is Pod is also a pendant as well. So if you're maybe also looking for stuff, maybe you want to combine that with a Pod Eastern like combo versus, in Aries maybe case, if he doesn't, if he has to come back for Pod, right, he's gonna have to make a separate trip.
Hey, there's Flippers.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So at least everything's back in logic for Aerie. I guess Humbug is TBD.
Humbug is like, who needs logic when you got a sword and a fire rod?
Yeah, exactly. No hammering yet. Yeah, I was gonna say Humbug. This is actually kind of an aggressive fight. I think he does have a potion, but for a couple of fire rod shots.
So. Both Eri and Humbug are really competent players that knows how to take down Mothula, and I'm trying to not die here from a heart attack, but...
Oh my gosh, Humbug! Right, he took his one potential hit from Mothula, which does 2 hearts, of course, on Green Mail. Spikes do 1, but this is Humbug.
Oh, come on.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy. This is...
Oh, he has 2 red potions.
Okay. First crystal goes to Humbug.
Yeah. Oh.
Important. To, I don't know. It's important to get the first crystal, right?
I mean, it is. I mean, and the fact that this is going to be, this is actually quite the, again, aggressive fight. Even though he did have kind of 2 potions, maybe he wasn't mentally too worried. But I mean, like that fight is. Was very, very difficult. So very well done. You said, both Eri and Humbug are very, capable, of fighting this, but I mean, it certainly does take a certain amount of endurance and grit in order to get through this fight. Oh, hello.
What was that?
I don't know. It says wear this to become invincible. Is that? I mean, we already have,
right?
Well, we already have the cape. Right?
I guess it has to be Burna, right?
I guess, yeah. But you don't wear. Okay, whatever. I have stopped trying to figure out what the actual hints mean. But yes, I can certainly become invincible. Gotcha. So, okay. Use this.
That's really short. I was so confused from this.
Yeah, same here. Because I thought it said you could wear this to become invincible, and I was like. You don't wear a cape, but okay, it's fine. All right, Humbug at least knows that the pedestal now is completely useless to him.
Humbug, please don't do it,
Oh.
because the other murder dactyl will just kill you as well.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was just maybe a bit, still needed a bit more like cool off time from Mopula. It does seem to me that like a lot of runners, I guess, tend to spot that and then like wait a little bit to try and kill the bird and then lift up the rock or like move or something like that.
I think he maybe just be like accidentally hooking himself into that rock and was like, oh crap, I forgot about the bird.
Ah, yeah. All right, okay, Eri, believing in ladder and its origin is here in Skullwood, so this is going to be very good for Eri. He is also going to pick up his book, which of course probably do a pet check just like Humbug did earlier, and he will also be very much rewarded with the fire rod, assuming he goes and gets it.
Okay. Well, he will.
All right.
A little bit different compared to a Humbug. But I mean, it's not a big deal, but it's a little bit of a time loss.
Yeah, I think just with like how the items are laid out, right? Because Humbug, I think, just started in the front, and then he got both items in the front, as opposed to like, the back of the front, I guess. Yeah, so definitely Humbug is not going to have to basically go through this particular room. Even though yeah, see, even though Eri, world record holder, and for NMG, he has done this room, a million times without the King of Samaria. If you get bad RNG with Gyptos or just something ever so slightly even goes wrong, I mean, this is just like the horrors basically of that room.
Like honestly, I just hate that room in general. Eri, those enemies hurts. So, please don't take a hit.
Yeah. Eri and Humbug are kind of like teasing themselves, like right on the brink of death, like everywhere.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried because I don't like their like fight with the devil, with death or something. Eri actually saying no to clearing out Skull.
So actually, that's actually I think a very interesting decision, and I think maybe maybe go okay. I think you said this before. Eri and Humbug are super capable, more than capable, in fact, of fighting. Moth without the hammer and fire rod. With the whatever. Maybe it's also a consequence of how Eri routed Skull was, right? Because he already went to like the back of the front, right? And then he found the fire rod, and then he's like, "Oh, do I need to go back?" It's like maybe if I need to backtrack anyway, I'll just come back with better equipment.
I mean, with better equipment, it will be faster, but at the same time, while you're there, pick up the fire rod. I actually like Humbug's routing so far. It's been a little bit more efficient at this point.
Yeah, and of course with the desert clear as well, like Humbug is actually up 2 crystals, to Eri versus his 0.
And Humbug will be able to pick up his 3rd right here in Hera.
Oh yeah, that's true. And also, actually, thank you, Gum and Paper Clips. This is a mark of Hera being also the other 5/6 crystal. So, we don't have the hammer yet, but, that does open up Pyramid Fairy when and if, in this case, like Humbug kind of starts up with the Dark World and then, eventually makes his way over to, like, Hype Cave.
Yeah, so the fun part is, well, we don't have flippers on Humbug's side. Otherwise, he could have been duplicating the big red bomb.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It bombed you, which I had bad memories from
I'm sorry. You know what? And hopefully this will give you a better memory. We found our 2nd sword in Thieves Town on Eri's side. So that's cool.
That's nice. We do like swords.
As you mentioned, also Brink of Death. Eri's here on two hearts. While I don't think it's quite like Heartbeats of Encouragement yet. However, everything basically does 2 hearts of damage here, so not the most comfortable.
Remember in the beginning of the seed, by the way, when we had no money at all?
Yeah, that's right. Got 300 from Boggrass, got 300 from Kingston, we got 300 here apparently in the front of Thieves Town. So, speaking of more, I guess, like NMG, so Humbug is here basically battling out with Moldorm just on the fire sword. They're making very good use of that cape. Because, falling to Moldorm, getting knocked down by Moldorm sucks. And you know what? We're rewarded with some armor.
And no item in the basements or in the big
Oh
chest.
yeah,
So
dude, you're right. This is a nice
that's
layout.
already 3 crystals for humbug. So
Yeah.
this is pretty fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
And right now for humbug, we're looking for Samaria, hammer, and flippers, and we know where flippers are. So that is not an issue.
Yeah, actually, so okay, so assuming we get flippers right from Easter Palace, you know, so what do you think is actually a better go mode? Do you think Hammer go mode is better, versus, or do you think Samaria go mode is better?
Hammer, because, well, yeah, actually hammer, because hammer will knock you out from different like you can't clear some of the pendants or stupid places. So
Okay. Yeah.
Samaria can be like pretty much anywhere except, well, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I guess like right. So like downside of like Samaria go mode is like, for example, maybe we have to go dip Meyer, right, for that
Yeah.
you know semi vanilla cane. I guess like the other kind of like downside is if you have hammer go mode, sometimes like routing the dark world can still be a bit awkward, right? And you know there are some while the hammer I think is it does, you know, as you said, lock out a lot of places. It's like the hammer could just be in like the first chest of swamp or something like that, right? It's just like you don't want to go there, right? Or maybe it's an ice palace, and it's like you don't want to go there without the hammer either. But you know, I mean, both of these guys went to Skullwoods without the fire rod, and there it was. So you know, who are we to, you know?
I mean, it is ladder, it is Lace Kid.
Yeah.
So I'm not too surprised that there's some a fire rod and a book inside Skull, because Dunka believes in Skull, and I also do believe in Skull. So
Yeah. That's true. All right. Okay. So speaking of, so Eri is got a little bit of a head start over Humbug, clearing out Thieves Town as his crystals. So this is gonna be, yeah, Eri's crystal number 1 at the 30-some minute mark, and I think, you know, after all that's said and done for Humbug, it's gonna be, in this case, crystal number 4. Jeez.
yeah.
Holy cow!
And,
how did that happen? It's so fast.
Well, I actually don't know. Well, I mean, Eri did a few different things compared to Humbug early on. He did escape, and he did check Hera early on as well. So, but it's not like, and he also never cleared Skullwoods in the end. So
Yeah. And so like Humbug right now certainly does have a pretty sizable crystal lead count, but Eri does still have a good number of checks, over Humbug. Yeah, and specifically as Eri went into, yeah, I think Alex mentioned front of escape, Eastern Palace in order to get the flippers from the map chest.
Oh yeah, Eastern Palace. I totally forgot that we had flippers in there.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, so right now, right, so Alex, you said, earlier, especially on Humbug's side, right, we're basically, right now looking at Hammer and Samaria, and at least for Humbug, it's going to be flippers. I think Eri, though, is pretty conscious right now that, he is only probably missing only Samaria and Hammer currently.
I think our Humbug clearing out Skull that early, like he did, I think he just wants to play this as aggressive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's up against Eri as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I know that Humbug said like it was like probably his first time he managed to beat Eri last time, and was only with 14 seconds. So I think he just wants to be as aggressive as possible.
Mm-hmm. This is a very, very good point. And especially right, like even though there are, I guess, like practically speaking, 3 runners in contention for 2 spots. I mean, the 3 runners are Eri, Humbug, and Ralkin. I don't think your life is really easy. Like every single match, second is going to count. Especially even for tiebreakers as well, right? The difference in which you finish between you and your opponent also does matter. Would you kind of pick up a nice lamp in Hype Cave? I mean, at this point, again, you said that, both Eri and Humbug are more than capable of beating this game basically on anything. Lamp is certainly going to be very nice to have. No more dark rooms, of course, even though both of them are very capable. Not as much magic pressure in the end game, especially if they, again, never find that bow.
Yeah, you never know if you have some shenanigans going on in the end. You can get like torch glitch or. Yeah, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And we get a piece of heart from Bumbo's tablet.
Yeah. So
Harry, come on, just check the first chest of spawns, please.
Eri may not want to maximize his gameplay that much right now.
Just imagine just getting that hammer right there.
Oh man, just imagine. Yeah, we got first chest of swamp available. We got somewhere a couple first checks in Ice Palace. Boy, that's a real place you want to go in.
I mean, Eri got full access to Mr. Admire with that Bombos tablets.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
you can't keep the dungeon, but I mean, normally I go by the rule that hammer is always in Mire.
I mean, well, what about hammer and pod? I mean, isn't that a thing?
Yeah, but I mean, if it's dependent Mire, hammer is always there.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. You know, we're gonna keep our eyes out, Alex, for this hammer in Mire shenanigans. Yeah, where is this hammer? Where is this Sonoria?
I mean, if you have had like hammer related to Mire like 5 times the last few tournaments, you know, you never, yeah, exactly. So you never give up on like you just like bail on it being inside.
Well, actually, I mean, so right, but like those seeds that you played, those are from the main tournament, right? Those were rolled by Sahasrabha. I mean, this is Lazy Kid. Like, surely, they don't work and like they don't collude with each other, right? Surely.
You never know.
You're right. Okay.
I've heard.
But you're right. You're right about that.
I heard one of the other kill the other.
That's true. Only the most powerful bot survives. And one of them is in a bet. Makes you wonder.
So there's nothing on Smith. Purple chest time for Humbug. I shall like this because then you're done. The only sad part is that you will you will isolate. And what is it called now again? Hammer pegs. Or
nothing has ever been in hammer pegs before. Oh no, of course.
No, I was just gonna say the qualifier pegs, but.
Yeah, but again, those are Sahabat, seeds. We don't have to worry in this case about anything in particular. This is Lazy Kid seeds. We also do have potentially, some powder. We don't have the powder right now, but that is a potential, something that it can combine with.
Yeah, that is actually true. I mean, since we don't have the hammer yet, it's a lot easier to route that. Well, yeah, never mind.
Okay, so apparently the book just led to nothing because we didn't need to access. Yeah, and then both tablets were super empty. Holy cow! Did you see the speed of that Haripot on Harry's side?
I feel like Eri might have done that a few times.
Yeah. Holy cow, that was. I mean, normally speaking, especially when you pick up the small key in Hera, and you open up the door, it's a little bit more awkward just because you don't really have that like the solid wall, I guess, to kind of dash against. But who you only need that when you don't get Haripot the first time, and yeah, Eri is definitely he just zoomed right out there.
Eri's like, now it's time to just clear my dungeons now. It's gonna be. Yeah, Humbug never did. Okay, right? No, he hasn't done that. So I was gonna be like, is he gonna do? Then I realized he doesn't have flippers, so never mind. I was actually a little bit excited to see maybe Humbug do first chest of swamp, but you actually need flippers. I do wonder what the next play is from Humbug's side. We know that Eri's gonna clear out Skullwoods here.
Yeah, with a Master Sword, he probably feels like much more comfortable. Yeah, but forget Skullwoods, because he's probably already gotten both items from there. He just is missing the crystal. It is a 5/6 crystal though. So I guess maybe he wants to North Dark World first before Skullwoods. I don't know. I mean, so like normally I could just basically see like if there are no more items, you know, in dungeon, you can basically just clear it out whenever is like the most convenient for you. And this is a 5/6 crystal though, which probably gives me a little bit more concern.
At least I know we know that he tracked the dungeon at least.
Yeah.
As a crystal and not a pendant, which have happened before.
Oh, let us not consider such unfortunate tragedies.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
more like worried that he might have done that. And I had to double check his tracker and gum and paper clips tracker because
Yes.
that's
All right, looks like though Aries looks like he's gonna make his way over to Catfish. Very interesting. Because I look to see he just maybe wants to be a bit more thorough and just kind of clear up the rest of his overworld checks. Although it looks like though that the amount of time that Aries kind of spent earlier in the front of Escape, Humbugh is kind of just basically even things out. So he's gonna pick up his Bombos medallion here. I do believe though that there were 2 items here in the back, so the small key is just in Dark Cross, so we don't have to.
Yeah, the small key is definitely in Dark Cross.
Nice. Oh, that was a nice more NMG skills demonstrated on Aries' side. It was a nice quick fish. Saving those 20 extra frames for 3 bombs for worth. Actually taking the time to pick them up, interesting.
I mean, but he was down to 6 bombs, so.
Yeah, you're right. In this type of economy, we definitely can't afford to go buy bombs. So we really got to pick up every single resource we can get.
I only got 841 rupees.
Yeah.
So you have to save your money
I
because
know.
you never know when you run out.
Exactly.
I mean, you need to open pod, maybe. You might have to pay the big bomb. I mean, it's hard times in Hyrule.
I mean, Kiki also does demand a pretty hefty fee, and every single time we lose him, we have to go pay the fee again. So, if Aries is just basically not careful, right? He could, that's a pretty big time money sink right there.
But this is gonna be interesting to see because this is a pod play from Aries. So if it's a big key or in the first chest, I don't see anybody go there. Well, first we're gonna
yeah, that's also a good point, right? Because we don't have the bow. Pod can certainly be bow locked. Kind of interesting that Humbugh is, he kind of went over here, right? In the light world. So this kind of seems like he is really only interested in Eastern Palace, as opposed to potentially considering Pod.
I think I know why. I think he wants to do that whole shenanigans with the big mob.
Oh, I see.
It feels like something like that, because he's hunting down those flippers right now. It could also just be like he wants flippers to move over to the other side, like to the other side, well, the pod area, but then again, he can just he can do all the other stuff to get over there, like curtain jumping and all that stuff.
Okay, so when we saw Aerie over here very early, Aerie picked up the flippers from the map chest, and that was as far as Aerie went. Actually, it looks like we are going to be exploring the rest of Eastern Palace on Humbugh's side. I was even going to ask you this too, Alex. Like, if you think that, especially in Humbugh's position, he would, continue on Eastern Palace versus basically dipping out just like what Aerie did after the flippers.
I mean, I feel like that was really aggressive from Aerie to just skip out, because you never, there's 2 more items here. Oh, look at that stat magic. Oh, and it's bow locked.
And it's bow locked. This is interesting. So Aerie, okay, I was gonna say, Aerie looks like he didn't care. But he just turned right around and changed his mind. It looks like actually Aerie's going to
double dip, killing him out. The double dip.
Yeah, he was definitely tricking us into thinking he was gonna keep going. But actually, we might be, after 45 minutes, we actually might be getting a sync here between Aerie and Humbugh.
By the way, with what Aerie just did, I assume that's gonna be an emote in the future.
Yeah, no way, man. I think Zelda even copyrighted the always skip Eastern Palace emote.
Yeah, but this was Pause, a different dungeon.
Oh, you're right. That's true.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so at least the half magic, that was a small decanter that Aerie just picked up, and Humbugh picked up a little bit earlier. It did actually refill Humbugh's magic bar. Okay, all right. So the good news, so right. So at least for Humbug, he knows what's on the pedestal. It is Cane of Burna. It is not going to be useful or required. And of course, we got all 3 items up early. So here we are. No more,
And
no
this
more
is
Armos.
the big bomb. This is the big bomb. Because he saved his portal right here.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize that. Dude, what a big brain play on Humbug's side. I didn't even realize he had the portal like right there.
But this is gonna be interesting to see because you don't see this that often. So it's quite wild to see this.
Yeah, this is hammerless big bomb. So Humbug needed the flippers in order to get over here. So you can. So right, what he's gonna try to do is he's going to basically like mirror on the 0 countdown, like when the countdown hits 0. And then I think he'll have like 13 frames in this case in order to try and duplicate the bomb.
Every single time I see this, it makes me worried.
Yeah. Well, because it's very costly to retry if you don't succeed. It looks like Humbug has in fact succeeded in order to try and duplicate out this bomb.
Big gamer Humbug.
This is top 4. Alex, like this is the kind of gameplay that you would expect no less of.
And while Humbug is doing this, we're getting that Meyer play, so let's look out for a hammer.
Look out for the hammer! Yeah, so there are 2 potential available items, in Meyer with a potential third on the green pendant and Vitreous. Assuming, of course, that there is the King of Samaria in here, that would make Vitreous accessible.
If, however, the hammer's here, we know that this is 100% Aga. In Pyramid Fairy, of course.
Alright, okay, big moment of truth. What's here? Oh, Blue Rupee.
Well,
and 3 bombs.
Oh, that's nothing.
Well, yeah, that was a valiant effort. You know, we as viewers definitely got a ton of value. And Humbug definitely showed off his gamer moments here.
See, that's the stuff you want to see from top 4.
Exactly. I think it's also like the skill floor, I guess, for top 4 is just is already so high. I mean, like it's kind of like this. You kind of almost I would say like need or like strongly recommend you basically have these things kind of in your skill set. While they may not come up that often, right? But I mean, like he basically just kind of bypassed like Aga, for example, right? And this could be someone who made this, and like you can save yourself like 5 minutes, right? That is some pretty amazing gameplay right there.
Where's there's a big key. So no hammer. I'm just waiting to see it pop up here.
I mean, you're probably not wrong. Like in this case, we're still missing. And it looks like Eri is gonna temporarily at least kind of bypass the vanilla big key chest because nobody wants to sit through 17 seconds of that unless you, I guess, have to.
Yeah, that is straight up pain.
So do you think Humbug is gonna keep going in pod after he finds the big key?
Maybe.
Maybe.
It's hard to tell with like Humbug has already been aggressive enough. So maybe this is like I've already been aggressive. I did the big red bomb. I got this. Got like hammerless, ice palace, and Meyer. So.
And the first chest as well. Yeah. Okay. All right. Looks like Humbug's going. Alright, so we did see, I believe he had one red potion left in his bottle, but especially according to Alex, Humbug has been practicing his mimic clip. Probably won't see it necessarily here if he has a potion, but this could be some practice potentially for the GT climb.
Or whenever in the future he plays Hayfield Bay in ladder.
yeah, that's true. Alright, okay. Potion camera unlocked, achieved. Just move all the mimics off the screen, and voila, the game thinks you've destroyed all of them with a bow. Or at least the red one. The game doesn't really care how you do it with the green ones.
Still no hammer here.
I haven't seen any item from Eri, by the way.
There's an item here in the big chest, and then there's an item on Vitreous.
If this is Kane. Not quite Kane.
Well,
all right.
So what do you do now when you're Eri?
Well, I guess if I were Eri, I would go try and go to the spots that have the hammer or the Venus Moria. But unfortunately, I don't know where that is.
Okay, Ice Palace.
This is the Ice Palace, dude. Yeah.
So this could just be like, I guess there could be a bow in here in ice, and then you have to go into where Humbugh is.
Yeah. I mean, so certainly very fortunate for Humbugh. He does have the mirror, does make routing, a little bit nicer. He doesn't have the hammer, unfortunately, because you can see, like, he went through all the Bullock side, got his keys, and then had to mirror out, can just, like, hammer down the pegs, right? Because, well, we don't have the hammer. I think we're kind of experiencing the worst of both worlds, by the way. Like, we're missing Hammer and Samaria, two major, like, progression locking stuff, right? Samaria locks out Turtle Rock, back of Mire. Hammer locks out, well, a ton more things, like back of Ice Palace, back of Swamp, bunch of, Hammer locked, whatever. But it's just like, all of this stuff, the situation is just very awkward, right? Because we're kind of dipping now into dungeons that we can't complete. And it just does not feel good when you make, a decision. You pick a dungeon that you certainly can't finish, and then you don't find what you're looking for.
It's definitely the worst case scenario. I feel like, especially for Eri, since he double dip Eastern as well for nothing. And then Mire, nothing there either, and you feel forced to do ice because you went into pod and realized it's bow life, but at the same time you might get bow here, and then yeah, it just sucks. Well, there's no hammer yet in
there's no hammer, there's no Samaria. Like, I mean, even with Samaria, we got I think we got all the medallions. We got all of our rods. Like, we can even go to Turtle Rock, but it's just nothing.
So this has to be something like either Samaria's in here in ice, or it's hammer, or it's the first chest of Swamp. Otherwise, I think these two runners have shaped everything, right?
Yeah. I think you're right. Oh, man, it's okay. Right. So Humbugh is going into Mire. Pretty much on the exact same loadout that Eri had.
Eri, you don't have much health, dude.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good point. I was like, what's wrong? Oh right, he's on constant heartbeats of encouragement. We're still looking for something. I mean, so unfortunately, right. So Humbugh chose pod. Did not find really anything of value for him. Found a bunch of keys, and so. Now he's going to be a Mire, and he's going to basically come up with the exact same situation, that Eri did, right? The big key was all the way on the left side in the compass chest. There were like sprinklings of, small keys and map compass, everything, right? And then basically all to find out that there was just a heart piece, in the big chest.
It's not a perfect world right now, but So the worst part right now, if you pick up Samaria and Ice, then you have to go back.
Well, okay, so if you pick up Samaria and Ice, then Ice... Well, yeah, we can't even do Turtle Rock. Never mind, we can't even do Turtle because we have no hammer. I think we have to go back to... Yeah, we have to go back to Mire. Oh my gosh, that's awful.
Either you go back to Mire straight away, or you just be like, nope, let's just do first chest of Swamp. And then that would feel bad as well if there's nothing there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a perfect world, because you have Vitreous, and then you have to go back and turn it into Green Pendant, and then you... And maybe, imagine if you do all that stuff, and you still don't have a hammer, so you have to actually do that first chest of Swamp in the end. But... Oh my good lord.
Oh my gosh, there is
lord.
the Cane of Samaria. Holy cow.
Well,
okay, so, so Eri is in hammer go mode. I'm sure that's exactly the situation he wanted to be in.
So did I hear a hammer related to Mr. Myra in the end?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
This is absolute trash this seed.
Yeah, alright, so Eri looks like he is going to take both a green and blue potion.
I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
I almost wonder if it was gonna be like just like a time save, just because you can like instantly buy the green potion, right? Because you kind of have to wait a little bit, you know, a little bit of dust, right, to buy the second blue one. And he's like, no, I gotta go. Like, what do I really need? I just need some magic. Let's go back to Samaria.
Hey, but I mean, you better spend all those rupees you picked up. Be like, you earned those rupees in the end.
Yeah. And honestly, like, right, so okay, Eri at least is, you know, back here, you know, hoping in this case that this is gonna be like hammer or something else, at least the hammer. But like, just look at his loadout. Like, he has Master Sword. At least it's better than Fire Sword. I'll certainly give him that, right? But you know, again, we are bowless. Vitreous, like second phase, is going to not be fun.
So now the question is they hammer on Vitreous himself or on Green Panther?
Yeah. Or again, first off the swamp, right? You know, this could be totally just bait. Yeah.
We don't want debates.
I think
running.
Yeah, I think also from Eri's perspective, right? It could still be. I mean, I guess maybe. I think it still could be Big Bomb.
Smith chain.
Or Smith.
He never did Smith.
Oh right, yeah, and Smith. That's right. Eri never did that either. And of course, it still could be in Pod.
Yeah, he went to Catfish. Never mind. He went to Catfish. He never did Smiths. Never mind. And if he wants to do the big red bomb, he still needs to go back to Skull.
Right.
So,
yes, and all the tablets have been checked. And Graveyard Ledge, Catfish have all been checked. And yes, that is why we're here in this situation where both Humbugh and Eri are basically just trying to dive incompletable crystal / pendant dungeons, looking for something, anything.
It actually been a hot while since we actually managed to beat a dungeon now, so...
Yeah, that's true, right, and yeah, you remember like the first like half of the seed, right? Humbugh basically like 4 crystals cleared, and yeah, but he was just basically on a tear, right? And then, you know, the next, 30-ish minutes, you know, Humbugh went to, Pendant Pod without the bow and the hammer, looking for anything, did not find anything. He went to Mire, looking for stuff, didn't find anything. Eri's also, you know, here, also went to Mire, and now he's in Ice, trying to find his Mario.
Now it's time to spin to the wind, or just slash until your fingers bleed. But I mean, Eri's used to hover and all that stuff, so just slashing down a big eye is probably not going to be anything.
Yeah. No, that was actually, you know, so for Master Sword, no hammer. This is actually really good.
Oh my good lord!
All right, okay. Second item in Mire is a heart piece, just like the one that we found in the big chest. So hopefully Sahasrahla has something good for us.
This is a throwback to me versus Jet in the main tournament if there's a hammer on the green pendant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Terrible memories are flooding back. And yeah, for some more context, more context, like both Jet and Eri in the main tournament, like in their match, didn't check Pyramid, and they did like literally everything else, but like before that, including like, you know, like head and like green pendant and all that stuff. So. Okay,
let's go. Is the hammer here?
What is here?
Yep,
oh my god! What a sequence, dude! What an awful sequence.
That is full-on go mode for Eriror. And Humbugh, don't get yourself locked in.
Yeah, please don't. He is gonna be at least coming up to his Cane of Samaria relatively soon. The Cane of Samaria was in the spike chest, and of course, with with the cane being there, no icebreaker. So I believe in this case, like that is Humbugh's pretty much last stop at this point.
He will have to mirror out and then flute back to Mire.
Exactly.
Yeah. Going deep Vitreous and turning into Green Pendant, and then off to Ice, off to Swamp, off to Turtle Rock. I guess a nice part is that you can just still go mode Swamp, but I mean...
Well, right. So okay, right. So for right now, from Aries' perspective, right. So he still needs to go back and finish Skullwoods, in addition to like Turtle Rock and Swamp. I mean, everything's gonna be in go mode, but he still has to go do that. Also keep in mind though, for both runners, and this is actually maybe part of what Aries kind of doing, maybe checking a couple of extra chests. We are still on Master Sword, by the way, and we still have no bow. The bow hasn't shown up yet. And so, like, we are probably going to have to do Master Sword Silverless, if we don't really find anything more at this point.
And the worst part is going to be the whole mimic clipping inside
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it might not be an issue like that, but with the nerfs, like you don't know if your opponent managed to find a bow. Right?
Exactly. Yeah, and especially like from Aries' perspective, right? So he's in mimic clip go mode, right? He's basically acting like that, right? Like so he is has enough confidence in himself, for example, in order to mimic clip it. But like for example, like from his perspective, a bow could have just been a pot, right? And that's where Humbugh went, and he suddenly has a bow, and then his and especially right, they found silvers both very early, right? It was a mushroom spot turn in, or the mushroom turn in. So like especially if they find a bow, right? Like that, like phase 4 instantly becomes like significantly faster, right? So that's certainly something that you have to be maybe like mindful about.
Like I cannot steal.
Oh yeah, that's true. It was bow block. That's true. I think maybe I guess maybe Aries didn't know that. So maybe, but like
Like Aries was the first one in, and then he went in a second time to Eastern afterward, and that is one dead coal stick.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, I think but like, if Humbugh still finds a bow, like, elsewhere, right, that area, in this case, like, has not, visited, right, like, I think he mentioned, like, Smith's Chain, right, that's really could have been an option. Like, I mean, like, just your opponent having the bow is pretty significant.
I'm pretty sure that these two runners will open the dive down chests, at least.
Yeah.
And hope for a bow, or a sword, at least. No matter what,
right.
like just having to. There is that possibility that you have to kill Ice Armos without the bow as well.
Should we pull pedestal for the King of Perna?
Oh, good lord. Actually, that is quite fun to just kill the Ice Armos with King of Perna. It's quite fun to do it, but it's still slow, so you still don't want to do it. And Aries, please don't. Can you stop being like dropping your health all the time? Like,
he has ballooned to like a whole 8 hearts since like the 6 or something that we've seen from him before. So this is really quite the improvement.
I guess like he just enjoys being like down like to like 2 or 3 hearts the whole run.
Definitely, really, I guess this is how he gets his like adrenaline rush, right? To motivate him to basically to play faster.
It had to be something like that, right?
Alright,
the question is, how many chests will Eri open here along the way?
Yeah, I mean, so like, especially in Goma, it looks like Eri really wants to maybe try and hedge his bets a little bit. Unfortunately, just the compass and the map chest. But yeah, even like depending on runners' like preference, where they think they are in the game, what's kind of going through their heads, how much they think they still need. The map chest can certainly be skipped. The compass chest, which is like the second one coming up, the one you have to kind of like run around the circle, that one could be skipped because it is still a good amount of screen transition. Yeah, I think imagine, you're right, Alex, we're definitely not going to see left side. We'll see probably the flooded chest, probably see waterfall room. Humbugh definitely getting his hammer right now.
Back into Ice Palace again.
Yeah, and back into Ice Palace. Now, of course, he does have Skull Woods over Eri cleared out. But, Eri certainly does have at least a good head start on the remainder of the dungeons.
Even though that Humbugh still like got Skullwoods ahead of like Eri, Skullwoods is fast enough, then you can just mirror away, like float away, or just save it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, right, so Humbugg's probably the big time sink, over Eri. It is, in this case, like, the basically all of Pod that wasn't, in this case, well locked.
Yeah. And Ares managed to catch up on time as well because he never did Smith Chain.
Right. Yeah,
and
right.
the big red bomb as well.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it was super cool to actually see Humbugh do that. It actually could have paid off, like, pretty handsomely if there was actually something in there. Eri, though, might be giving a little bit of time back to Humbug if he, doesn't quite get Diver down. Looks like he got it, definitely. I did count, it was -101. Try. Yep.
Yep, clear. See,
Yes.
this is why you have clear mouse, because
Yes. I know how to count things.
And look at that, really feel for Eri.
Yeah.
Finally on foil.
Amazing. Alright. So, Master Sword Argus isn't going to be the worst fight. Of course, everyone's going to be very comfortable with Tempered. And of course, like, the bow's not going to matter too much. We do have both rods at our disposal.
Humbug not opening the first chest here might be that he doesn't want to search for a bow, and he's just like super comfortable with doing the what is it called now again? Maybe clip?
Yeah.
Or he feels behind and doesn't want to open anything.
Yeah, I was also just maybe wondering it might have been the latter, because I think like he kind of knew from the sequence, right? Like the Samaria hammer sequence, right? Even though it was a pretty terrible sequence, Samaria in Ice Palace, to go and be pendant Vitreous for the green pendant in order to turn Sahab the hammer. And that Pod was basically pretty much useless, and maybe now he feels like he needs to make up some ground. Like, he's not even checking Compass chest, right? Like, this looks like it's just full on, go mode.
Humbug is. At this point, you might be like, don't open any other chest. Maybe you open the. He still needs to do ice, right? So he needs some icebreaker. So you'll check those chests, and then you all have all of Turtle Rock to find like a bow or a sword at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, there's also, right, like, the GT basement, potential, depending on where that big key shows up. But also for Turtle Rock, right, we are still searching for the big key. You'll probably end up opening most, if not all of the chests, kind of depending on where they are. Especially, if you're kind of force yourself into Laser Bridge, especially if you're missing still stuff, maybe, it's worth your time to go check the rest of them.
At this point, since none of them have a bow, it just comes down to who's the most comfortable with mimic clipping.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Getting past the first couple rooms of of upstairs GT is probably going to be the most important, and then of course, there is going to be, assuming they don't find a Tempered along the way, Master Sword, phases 1 and 2, not going to be, it certainly is going to, be quite the endurance battle, and then of course, phase 4 also is going to be quite long.
But Eri definitely got a bit of a lead here. We'll be done with Skullwoods before Humbug will be inside Ice Palace.
Yeah, especially it looks like Humbug's quite not landing all of the all of the rod hits immediately. Yeah, but alright, so that is Crystal. Man, early scoreboard. Remember, at some point it was like 4 crystals on Humbug's side to 1 on Aries' side or something like that, early on, and then it's just because we ran out of completable crystal / pendant dungeons to do, and oh man, it just happens to be in this case that Pod in this case was kind of Humbug's downfall in this case, and then I had to give up the crystal beat to Aries.
And thank you, Big Red Bomb, for not paying out.
Yeah, exactly.
If that one paid out, that would have been huge.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how comfortable Eri is with the bomb jupe, because I don't think I've seen him do it, but he's probably pretty alright with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at this point there's probably not anything that like Eri or Humbug is just like uncomfortable with, right? As in, like, they probably can, they probably can, just like do it live, like fumble through it if they really need to. But I think there's probably nothing that would really be like stopping them or like blocking them from doing anything.
Well, you can't stop Eri right now because he's on his way through.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think from Aries' perspective, he would probably like to see another sword somewhere. We only really did find, 2 swords kind of early. So one was on Desert Torch, which was of course boots locked. But we did find boots, like real boots, pretty early in the Moldorm Cave. And then the other one is they found in the front of Thieves Town, and that's kind of it, right? We saw, even the back of Pod didn't have really like anything to kind of like help Humbug, right? Another sword like in the back of Pod would have been actually like pretty big, for Humbug.
I'm actually surprised that there was nothing inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's always something in Pendant Pod.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what we're told. Or like there's always a sword in swamps, and probably there is a sword in swamp.
Yeah, there could have been. Left side seemed ripe for the picking. We also did get a big key on Argus, so Big Chest could have had something as well. So it's a lot of potential.
For rock, 5 items. I don't expect any of our runners to check Mimic Cave at this point.
That would, yes, I would have the exact same expectation. I'm actually kind of curious to see if Eri would be willing to kind of go outside. I know, like in typical like go mode, if he can go out, if he can stay inside, he will. But again, this situation, I don't know if how willing he is to kind of basically forego some potential like outside time, because he is still only on Master Sword and no bow.
I don't know if he was looking for a sword in Swamp, because he was opening a lot of chests in there, so I don't know if he was looking for a sword or if he really wants the bow at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can find a bow, you'll definitely take it instead of standing there and trying to mimic clip, because it's painful sometimes.
Coldstare is down for Humbug, so this is also his 6th crystal. Eri has a please. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We got blue mail. We don't have to worry about lasers or anything like that. I was gonna say, so Eri has basically a full mountain climb and kind of like the front of Turtle Rock lead right now over Humbug.
I mean, it's not a huge lead, but it's still a lead.
It is certainly quite tangible. But I mean, this is 100%. Humbug is very much in this.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna come down to who's at this point, like we've said a few times, mimic clipping and GT routing / XP.
Yeah, and of course, Master Sword Silverless Ganon, not only, of course, you have to basically get through that, a lot of variation, in terms of execution. I don't think we found the big key yet. Maybe I was mistaken. So if that's
no, the big key is in vanilla here.
Okay, all right, okay. Yeah, Eri, still on Master Sword. Gonna have to kind of resort to some of the lesser known and non-NMG strats in order to try and kill things. Fire Rod, I guess, just as good as anything to kill the Pokey. No. Okay, Eri's demonstrating the dangers of using the fire on Pokeys from the side, because those Pokeballs can still very much hurt and basically get you.
That looks strange on the.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, not even like good Poke RNG, but again, no Tempered Sword means that even if we do kind of do like the normal like hold your sword down and spin, they're not gonna die. So that's why Eri was basically trying to kill them faster with the Fire Rod.
Hey Humbug, if you want to save time, skip the right side here.
That's true. Yeah. If he knew what we saw, on Eri's stream, which was what, Blue Rupee and a map or something like that, yeah, he would definitely skip this.
So we're going to have to check Laser Bridge for a key. So I assume that you will still check all the other chests at the same time.
I think right. Especially even if you find like the key in like the very first chest. Again, we're still here. Master Sword serverless again, and given that we did see Eri, did check a couple of chests in Swamp as well. It kind of indicates that if you're here, these chests are not going to get any faster. All right.
Yeah, another 5 rupees.
Yes, super important. We did find a small key. We found
more rupees.
Okay, if this is the green one, everything is just gonna be French vanilla. It is not quite a green rupee, but we were kind of on 3 out of the 4 vanilla items. Because I think in normal, the vanilla game, it is like green rupee, blue rupee, red rupee, small key, and it just happens to be the green one, which is replaced by harpies.
How do you even remember all that stuff?
Oh, I don't know. Like, guess I've seen this game one too many times.
Like, I played this game a few times, like the vanilla version, but I still don't remember.
Oh, well, see, you probably weren't starved for rupees because you probably didn't need, like, potion money in order to survive. And, like, if you are a player of lesser caliber, you need all the money you can get your hands on.
Or it could just be me having a real bad.
Oh, kind of interesting. Yeah, alright, so yeah, Eri has to basically take this down with Trinex.
And don't take a hit, too.
Yeah, that's right. So Eri is on blue mail, but of course, blue mail. Oh my God, no, Eri!
No! Oh, baby.
No,
okay, this is huge humbugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So suddenly, Eri
that's
no
an equalizer. That's an equalizer right there, because that saves humbugh a lot of time. And humbugh is just skipping. Nope, he's not skipping the big shit. Never mind.
I mean, this still gives. I mean, this closes the gap significantly, right? And especially for. While I don't want to bring up any, like failed runs from like NMG, right? Dying to Trinex is unfortunately not a rare occurrence. I'm sure Eri, has kind of experienced this before, so mentally speaking, right? He just kind of has to, go back. But the amount of time, that he's kind of given an opening here to humbugh is certainly going to really, close up the gap here, right? Again, we mentioned before, there is a lot of variation in game. Right? We still have to mimic GT. We still have to go find the big GT big key. We still have Ganon on Master Sword, potentially bowless, right? There are a lot of things.
Yeah, just keep in mind that we have to do the whole gauntlet and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, only on Master Sword too.
I mean, just sure, these two are really good runners, but the gauntlet can still give you some issues.
Yeah, and especially these guys are like an hour and 20 minutes in, right? And think about especially maybe like humbugh's position, right? He did pot for kind of nothing, right? And then he went into ice, double, and he had to go double dip that, right? Because he got nothing the first time. Eri, went into Mire, right, the first time, had to go double dip because he also got nothing. And now he's on a Trinex step, right? Like mentally speaking, it might be a bit more difficult to try and keep your head down and calm and cool and to continue to play the game.
It's actually quite interesting to see humbugh checking Laser Bridge when he skipped everything else along the way.
Yeah, but I mean, but just like this is basically a pre-Trinex and Trinex's difference, between Eri and humbugh at this point. Like that Trinex death on Eri's side was sizable.
But it's time to open GT, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Do we do a guessing game of where the bow is?
Yeah.
We don't have any other locations left. I mean, there's left that swamp and.
Well, there's Mimic Cave that none of them did, right? What if the bow was just there?
Or Spike Cave.
Oh yeah, that's true. We did do Spike Cave.
Hammer pigs, qualifier pigs.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. We never did. Shit. Yeah, we never did hammer. I mean, and also, it could be like the powder, in here in GT that leads to the magic bat that has our bow.
Right.
Yeah,
because the bow that doesn't have to be in here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yay! Good time.
all these great opportunities. Okay, so Eri has gone in, so feel free to guess where you think either the big key is, or the bow is, for that matter. Maybe if you are, I don't know what you're hoping for here in Eri's case. I think you're probably hoping for bow to show up before, before the big key. But he is going to take his normal GT route. Map on the torch. Small key. Oh, there's the powder.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, I'm sure Aaron's just happy to see the powder. It's a very good safety. Hopefully he doesn't think about that. I can go check Magic Bat for something. Alright, okay, so small key in Hope Room does mean that if Humbugh does do Hope Room first, it's not going to be as much variation, as versus there was no key in Hope Room. Because that means anything Compass Chest, would actually be quite the differential for Humbugh.
Just imagine if Eri didn't die on Trinex, he would have been like almost done with GT Basement before Humbugh opened up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Eri, a little bit of trouble here with Gyptos, a little bit of deja vu from earlier this morning. At least we're getting through. Okay, so we're back into Compass Chest. We got 40 rupees, 3 bombs. 40 rupees and 6 bombs.
I would say we're back to just getting rupees again.
Yeah.
So Humbugh, don't go to the right side. I know you have the mirror out. Skip the right.
Yeah, that's right. We know from the screen. But of course, all of this could be moot. It still could be in tile room, because why not at this point?
Now we all know that we're gonna find a big key and the bow is just gonna be in tile room.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would.
Oh, okay.
Look, it is in the map chest.
But here's the important part. Eri's not okay. Never mind.
Yeah, he probably just saw the big magic trap and he just wanted it for the climb.
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
alright, okay, so we're not too far from some Mimic Clip action on both Eri and Humbugh's side. Humbugh's just need to finish up the Compass Chest, or Compass Rooms in order to get his, four garbage items. And then, go get this key from the map chest, and then we're gonna be seeing some, Mimics, go fly off the screen here. Looks like Eri is gonna maybe opt to do some sort of buffered version. I don't even know how you're supposed to do this, but we're gonna watch both Eri and Humbugh basically make this attempt.
Looks pretty alright so far. Maybe not. Some people tend to drop the mimics down. Down to the blocks and do it from there. But this is so stressful to watch.
This is right. So basically, with all some of the time that Eri has been mimic clipping, Humbugh has found his big key. He is also ready to clip some mimics. Dude!
Oh my lord!
Dude!
I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Oh my gosh! I am not ready, Humbugh. I'm not ready, Alex. I'm not ready for this at all. Holy cow, we got some double mimic clipping. Oh wait, that's one on Humbugh's side.
Oh my good lord.
Oh, wait, mimic's sliding back? Okay, he's sliding off the screen.
He went into, he almost went into Eri's side. He's like trying to manipulate the game.
Yeah, I know. I don't, this isn't fair, because if Eri is trying to get rid of all of these mimics, he doesn't need a third one from Humbugh's screen.
But Humbugh's in lead, because he already got one away.
Oh my gosh.
And there's
Humbugh
in the lead.
Okay, alright, that is through for Humbugh to Mimics 1. We're on to Mimics 2, and I think there's something with if you can clip out the Mimics something in Mimics 1, the BMOs actually don't bother you for some reason.
I think it's when you don't kill an enemy the screen before or something. I don't know. It's something really dumb like that.
Alright, Eri looks like he's maybe trying to do some select or pots start screen buffering as well. It looks like there is actually one mimic down for Humbugh. Oh no, never mind. They just kind of merged together. Okay, so there's one. Alright, so that's 3 out of 4 for Humbugh.
Dude, it's gonna suck so hard for Eri if he
Oh my
loses.
gosh,
There's another one.
So yeah, it is gonna be heartbreaking.
This is unfortunate. There's the mimic. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, girl. Hey, and he just. Well,
Wow.
this is flashbacks for Eri against
this is exactly no mental damage, please, because this is basically how he ended up losing the race to Hayfield during SGL.
Now I'm like super curious
gosh.
where the bow is.
I mean, I think we listed out a lot of locations, right? Could have been like the rest of the basement, for example, right? It kind of sucked that maybe like for the big key to show up pseudo quote unquote early. Because it wasn't the map chest, it wasn't in like rando room, for example, where we had more opportunities to search the basement.
I just feel like it's like, we know that Eri was looking for like probably the bow in swamp, so I'm like a little bit curious why he never checked the rest, like at least the rando room, before he went up.
Oh,
but that is that is not a way you want to lose a race. But at the same time, they made a gamble, both of them, to not check for the bow, and wow.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I do think that Eri was probably confident in his mimic, clicking abilities, like, because he has done that. I know that he has done it before, but again, I think you might have mentioned whether maybe it wasn't like as recent. It's a lot of pressure, by the way, right, to be able to do this in this type of situation, and especially you already had just basically suffered an unfortunate Trinix death. And
I think it's maybe like you're saying there, that Trinix death might have maybe not tilted him off, but really threw him off.
Yeah,
like,
right. Yeah.
He's probably not in the right mental state from that one, because like you're feeling good on a Trinix fight, and then that happens.
Yeah, and looks like so Eri's probably gonna search at least the rest of the basement, potentially for the bow, and I guess like also for what it's worth, right? Like it's like he has also tried to mimic clip for a good amount of time as well. Kind of like the longer this goes on, right? Kind of like the worse you feel. It's like like but the pressure is adding, right? Because it's like I've already tried to spend 2 minutes doing this. For example, do I spend another one trying to make this happen, or do I go search for the bow? Right? Like where is my opponent right now?
Yeah, that's the worst feeling, because you're definitely checking the race for him.
This is not helping. Oh, it's not
is it really gonna be the big chest of GT?
Oh, dude.
I
guess we're gonna find out. Because it's gonna show up at least before Ice Armos.
We at least know that it cannot be up here, so that's at least good.
Yeah, that's true. I think humbugh, was still opening chest, hoping to find a sword. In this case, it's 3 out of 4 did not pay off. 4 out of 4 did not pay off. But yeah, it's only 5 rupees in the big chest. Not, of course, often you get to see that in a non-keys setting to open the big chest of GT.
Isn't those bombs vanilla?
I believe there are 10 arrows.
Arrows.
Yeah, because sometimes those are like the backup.
It's something.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think those are like the backup 10 arrows if you might want to take if you're like on NMG, if you're just lacking more arrows. Oh no. Unfortunately, Eri lost his sword piece. Again, like it's without a bow. These fights can be quite awkward.
This fight sucks if you don't have burn-up or like sword beams, at least. Doing this with only sword slashes really sucks. It is, however, fun to kill the Armos Knights with the Cadence Mario. Quite enjoyable.
Yeah. That's true, because you do get some life efficiently. Yeah, Eri's also kind of pulling out the fire rod, just because of how the game is coded. Master Sword slashes actually do less damage than Fire Sword. Oh, Eri, don't lose your beams again! Oh no. So he's trying to basically make either some like spins in order to get some Timber Sword damage out of him, or like Fire Rod. Right? Those are potentially the same thing. Oh man. Okay. So meanwhile, though, humbugh is his drop down again. He is we're gonna maybe find out where the bow is. I guess I'm not sure what Ganon's gonna say, but he's on his Master Sword phase 1. It looks like he is a little familiar, at least, with some Samaria block strats. Basically using the Samaria as kind of his like ricochet or knockback, so that when he does spin, right, you can see that in this case a little bit of lag, but Humbug is basically still kind of staying put. He doesn't have to basically be, you know, knocked back so far, you know, in order to have to go and like do more spins and get closer to Ganon.
I also have to say that I really feel bad for Eri right now.
Yeah, that's no, you're 100% correct, because I think he ended up trying to mimic clip. I mean, I'm sure he was, you know, quite confident probably going in, but just I guess it just was not meant to be today, and now unfortunately, you know, he is kind of on bow hunt.
But where is that bow?
Yeah, where is that bow? We don't know.
Like we're
what else?
like even though we can beat like Ganon and all that stuff, we're still not in logic. So I mean, if Eri might finally he wins because he's in logic, right? That's how it works.
Yes, that is how it works. Oh my gosh. Alright, it looks like though, I mean, so right, I mean, but again, like, it's okay, so wait, if you're Eri looking for the bow, like, you know that you don't have to go to pod, that's at least a plus for him. Also, by the way, like, where are the swords?
Don't have a bow, dingus. That's the, what we get from Ganon.
Where are the swords, Alex? We've cleared out, Eri cleared out the entire basement, minus tile room, and he didn't get a sword. Like, and we saw on Humbug's side, we cut out a pod, did not get a sword.
Hammer pegs.
Okay, well, that is the first spot we're gonna go see.
Magic bats.
Yeah, maybe hammer pegs, magic bat. These are the things that, you know, this is actually very reasonable, right? These are things that Eri got as full mode or in GT, so it certainly makes sense to go chase this down.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! There is the. Okay. Oh. Never skip hammer pegs apparently, because, you know, this is qualifier pegs. What? That is.
Oh
so
my
awful.
god! That is so awful. Because Hammer was their go mode, so there was like no way they would ever check Hammer pegs.
Hammer was on Pendant Vitreous, right? Both of them went into Vitreous looking for either Samaria or Hammer, went in, found a heart piece as their one and only item that they could have access to, went out, went to Hammerless Ice Pallets, got the key to Samaria from a spike chest, had to go back to Meyer to go kill Vitreous for the green pendant, and that's where their hammer was. There is no way you're gonna go into hammer pegs after that to go get your bow.
My good lord, that is such an awful occasion.
Oh. I'm sorry, Eri. Oh, that is just so heartbreaking. Though meanwhile though, Humbug. You know what? Maybe it's just for the better. Ignorance is going to be bliss for him. You know, because he has succeeded in mimic clipping. Finished up GT on Master Sword Silphos, because apparently we still don't know where the swords are. But get your GGs out in chat for Humbug taking a victory, a significantly, difficultly earned victory over Eri through mimic clipping. 133-31.
GG's.
GG's,
Humbug. And the Windfish will wake soon. So, Humbug, you woke up the Windfish. GG's.
GG's, Humbug. Holy cow.
Yeah, thanks.
You don't sound that happy right now.
Like, I mean, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say. I really don't.
Never skip hammer pegs in this case, maybe.
Well, if you're in go mode, you skip hammer pegs.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate chain of events there with the with how the layout happened. There was like no way you guys would ever go there.
Nope, never. Like this is hands down. It wasn't one of the worst seeds I've played. It was actually kind of fun because like I did a couple of fun stuff like Hammerless, Big Bomb and stuff, but it was by far the most rude seed I've ever played.
Yeah, I can only imagine with like all the. I have to say it was quite fun. Like you mentioned, you got to do all the cool stuff like mimic clipping and bomb duping. So you really got to show off all the cool stuff in this game.
Yeah, for sure. I I've never been on this end of mimic clipping before. Like, honestly, I've only clipped the mimics in GT in door random before, just to get through that room. I've never done it. I've never had a pure mimic clip seed ever before. So I've like my pulse that I had trying to mimic clip was immense. It was awful.
I mean, you made it look really easy with the first mimic in the first room. Like, he just flew away.
He flew away. Then I screwed up the other one, but that was fine.
I guess, like, how much have you, like, either, like, practiced mimic clipping versus, like, you know, was this, like, kind of, like, relatively new for you? Like, or have you kind of always been comfortable with it and just haven't maybe really done it recently?
I could not for the life of me accomplish it playing on emulator. But when I switched to hardware, it went from impossible to very, very doable. Yeah, for sure. That was all of the difference for me, going from emulator to hardware. I've mostly learned it for cross keys because it's like a bit more useful there when you find pod early and you can just grab 2 more items and maybe your boots are there. But I've never been in this situation where I want to do it to climb GT. Never.
I guess always a first from Randa. We are also joined by Eri. GG's, Eri. I know you haven't. Yeah, you haven't quite finished on stream yet, but I think you're getting pretty close.
Otherwise, I do finish a C.
GG, Eri.
Yeah, GG's humbugh. Yeah. Unfortunate, but.
Yeah, there was like no way you guys couldn't check Hammerpegs in go mode. Well, technically not in go mode, but in go mode.
No, no, that was not something I was gonna check. I was pretty thorough. I wasn't worried about clipping. So, like, it wasn't that I really wanted to find a bow because I couldn't mimic clip. I mean, apparently I couldn't mimic clip, but that's not why I checked it, if we're gonna use that meme, but, no, I just thought like, okay, well, I mean, there's still 2 swords and a bow out there, and all of those will speed up the rest of the sea tremendously, so I was pretty for checking things, but, yeah.
I guess, like, any concerns, I guess, after... Actually, what ended up happening on Trinex? Because it just looked like you were maybe too close, but it also looked like he kind of took you by surprise, like the last phase.
Yeah, I just got clipped. Like, the last hammer I did clinked, and then I couldn't get out fast enough. I didn't think that was gonna hit me, but it did. So yeah, I didn't really feel great about that, and then when I was just stuck there for, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, failing mimic clip, and like trying out different methods and stuff, and nothing worked. I don't know.
I guess, like, so, yeah, for mimic clipping though, like, was it, I guess it just hasn't something that you've been, I guess, like, practicing, like, recently, because it certainly just seemed like you were very confident, basically, you know, like, after you got the hammer, you know, it seemed like, especially even before, right, seeing you mimic clip pretty smoothly, so I only imagine that, you know, you were basically planning on clipping at the top GT if you didn't find a bow.
Yeah, I, like, do it once in a while to practice, and I usually don't have any issues with it. Like, maybe my controller just has, like, the D-pad just feels really different. And, like, the rhythm is just really off, I suppose. Like, even in, like, after the credits rolled out, I kind of practiced it for a little bit, and I still have, like, issues that, yeah, I just don't get it down. So I don't know what's up. I might just have to, like, spend another few hours on it, and maybe then it'll work out. But I guess mimic clip is just the bane of my existence in turning races.
There might have been a couple memories of you versus Hayfield from SGL that kind of, like, maybe cropped up here. Although this time we don't have webcams, so we can't actually see you, like, you know, pull up the mimic clip tutorial this time and, you know, educate the rest of us.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just approached it like differently or poorly or something. I don't know if I did something wrong, but like, yeah, that's how it goes, I suppose. Like, I can keep beating myself up over it, but it's done now. I can't change anything. Like, it's not like I played the rest of the seed particularly well. Like, looking at the finish, I'm like, maybe if I got it anyway, I may have still won, but like the gap right now is pretty big. So I kind of need Humbugh and me to win against Relkin in order to get like at least a stair thing like 302-112. Because like this 7-8 minute gap might be a bit too big.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
If we're gonna have a freeway tie, I mean.
Yeah, it looks like at least Dunk has been posting some stuff in chat, basically kind of detailing, I guess, maybe exactly what will happen. Oh, by the way, yeah, so you did finish on stream. Thank you for the reminder. Please, yeah, get your G's out chat for Eri. I mean, and basically, it kind of came down basically, to the end, for that bow hunt, because the difference was after, I guess, mimic clipping, it starts with the basement, and then you went to hammer pegs, right? And that was kind of like the first location. Otherwise, though, I think so you actually entered GT a little bit before Humbugh did. I mean, so because the GT location was kind of early, I think Humbugh was still doing Compass Room in Brightside GT as you entered Mimics 1. So it certainly would have been very, very close if you kind of depending on when you would have would have succeeded in Mimic Clipping.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that right, and unfortunately, the Trinex death also kind of closed up the gap pretty sizably. I think just because you I think were a full mountain climb and the first couple rooms of Turtle Rock ahead of Humbugh. But then of course unfortunately Trinex happened, and then it was something became significantly closer.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, otherwise, and then the main difference between you and Humbugh, at least for routing the seed, was you completely avoided pod to your benefit because I think either maybe you didn't want to go in because it was bow locked or something like that. But Humbugh, powered through, and that was kind of the major difference.
Okay. I didn't want to go into pod because I figured that bow might actually just be in GT.
Yeah, I felt I didn't feel very good when I had done Pyramid Fairy, so I just felt like, okay, maybe bow is in ice and hammer is in pod or something stupid.
Yeah.
So I just went with it.
I was considering that, but I didn't feel great either, so I kind of went the other way. I was like, okay, it might be pretty likely that Humbugh does go in, and in that case, I just hope that hammer's just in ice.
Did you do ice before Meyer?
No.
Yeah.
I think I did pod Eastern, then I went into Meyer, then ice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the greedy skip that I made was like the Smith chain. I didn't do Smith and purple chest, but other than that, I pretty much full cleared.
Yeah. I managed to not visit Catfish, but that was about it.
Right. Yeah.
So it makes sense that you were a couple of minutes ahead of me up the mountain. It really does. Since we did basically just as many things, and your execution is better than mine, so it makes sense.
Yeah, you're no slouch yourself, though. I knew that execution-wise, it was going to be really close. So that knowing that I avoided a little bit of overworld and pod was okay, I have a little bit of a buffer, and maybe the Tronic stuff is okay-ish. But yeah, then Mimic Clip happened, and I was like, well, maybe Humbugh doesn't know how to Mimic Clip either. Maybe I'm okay. But apparently everybody knows now. I'm just here being a boomer and not being able to do one frame inputs anymore.
Oh,
I hear there was a qualifier, and then everybody learned it.
Yeah, see, in that qualifier, I was able to do it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
This might be too much.
I'm sorry. That qualifier, and it was no problem. I mimic clipped perfectly fine.
Can we just agree to blame Ravis then?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool.
But
Let's go with that.
I guess it's now maybe it's now my goal. It's like just how Kipo or Dragon Knight, like just every time it comes up, you go for we need to ban hovering. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, we need to ban mirror clipping because I can't do it. That's my life now, I guess.
For what it's worth, you are on the council, so I do believe that you have avenues.
I have no like good reason why it should be banned. It's fine. It's just apparently harder for me than it maybe should be, but maybe there's just something that needs to click. But anyway, it's whatever. It's I can only blame myself.
Certainly, don't beat yourself up for this. I mean, I think you probably already did it once and it was very constructive, right? The time against Hayfield, and you definitely proved to yourself that you can mimic clip and you can mimic clip well on multiple occasions. It just happens to be this particular one didn't quite work out. So sounds like maybe you just kind of needs a little bit more de-rust or kind of figure out like what was going on with the controller, and that's really it. So you'll be all set for the next time, I'm very sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I just hope that Humbug just absolutely demolishes Rauka now, and that I can do that as well. And then,
Oh,
then
do I? 'Cause
nothing matters.
I also want that because I want something over him.
Wow. Now the shit talking starts.
No, I just knew that coming into this week it was going to be 3 really hard matches, and
yeah. I mean, the fact that I think maybe we mentioned this a little bit earlier, just in the broadcast, but it's like so right. The group is initially like Tato, Tato, Eri, Humbug, Relkin, and just kind of like how logistics went. Tato did play all 3 matches, and then each gave you guys each a win, as part of his generosity. And so effectively, there are 2 spots left for 3 people. So at least it doesn't sound so bad on paper, right? But then of course you look at the fact that 3 people are Eri, Humbug, and Relkin, and it's just like, well, yeah. So
that's not going to be easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So every match is going to be pretty important. I mean, but I mean, like, I don't think it's while I think I really want I want all 3 of you to move on. I know there are only 2 spots, but it's just that I think that everyone is just basically deserving to be in the top 2. You guys are just all so good.
It's going to be a really exciting finish for this tournament. It's going to be really cool. Whoever makes the finals, it's going to be so. Those matches are going to be hype.
Oh yeah, 100%. I believe. Okay, so speaking of, actually, I want to say for the remainder of the 2 matches, okay, so it looks like they're actually going to be both on Saturday. So Humbug, you play Rockin 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So that's 4:30 Central European time.
Yes, correct.
And then Eri, you play Relkin 2:30 p.m. So it looks like it's going to be like about a 4-hour gap between Relkin. Okay, so Relkin basically has like a double header, and then I guess it's just going to like take on each of you individually. Definitely don't miss Saturday, by the way, because these 2 matches are going to be quite intense. I'm sure there's going to be quite amount of pressure, I guess, like given to probably all 3 of you. Best of luck, to all of you, and of course above all, just I guess have fun, and hopefully in this case, everyone will be happy at the end.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for the good luck, and thank you, Dunka and Nissan and Clearmouse for hosting this. I'm not sure who tracked this one, but thanks to them anyway.
Gum and paper clips.
Gum and paper clips.
Yes, Gum and paper clips. So thank you.
Shout outs. Yeah.
Huge shout outs. But yeah, thank you so much for the race, and thanks so much for the commentary.
It is. I mean, like this one's actually really exciting to watch, right? Especially at the very end, right? Basically, it was kind of came down to who's going to, I guess, mimic clip out. I mean, you don't often get to see, especially this kind of seed, as a commentator, and especially as a viewer too. So certainly, I very much enjoyed it. You, Ari, and you, Humbug, always a pleasure to be able to commentate for you guys, just because you guys are outstanding runners, also just like really stand-up guys like in general, right? So always a pleasure to be able to try and bring your races to as part of the restream.
Thank you. That's very sweet. It means a lot. Thank you, Clemens.
I would also like to thank Danka. Thank you. He was the one who bought the gum and paper clips to begin with. So not only is he a financial supporter for Ladder in the restream, he has also made sure that all of the tracking has been done as well. And I mean, he totally sets up again. I say this every time, but like the fact that he made all this technology just work so like seamlessly and easily, basically just made it extremely easy and convenient for everyone else to help out. So thank you so much, and Alex, thank you for commentating. This was a blast.
Always a blast doing comments with you, Clear. So thank you for telling me to sign up with you for the commentary. Thank you to Duncan. And Gum and Paper Clips, I heard they're ready for the Saturday as well.
Yes.
And shout outs to Ari and Humbug for doing all the cool stuff on the stream for us.
Yeah, and I think Duncan will probably eventually make like he'll have events up for on the Ladder Discord too. I think with the official like schedule times and everything like that. So yeah, but until then, I guess Ari and Humbug rest up, and of course Relkin, if you're out there, I guess you haven't really played too many yet, I guess. But everyone is gonna be geared up and ready to go on Saturday. So best of luck to all three.
Thanks.
See ya.
See ya.